and the truth shall set you free. I found it. I solved it. I've nailed it here live today on... We're not live. There are going to be some pretty big updates coming to Galaxy of Heroes in a very short amount of time. My guess would be when we get the next era. So we're talking about, 2 weeks' time maximum. We are seeing, and here's some of the high-level points over here, big changes to the Omega battles system. Those are going to add a change and an overhaul that's going to modernize it quite a bit. It looks like we are getting potential changes to raid reward structure, which is hinting at the release of a brand new raid, but maybe not in the way that you think. And something to do with a Krayt Dragon. Now, I don't know if this is pointing to us cycling back to the Krayt Dragon raid or something like that. I can't quite tell. But there's a lot to go through here, so I thought you and I should take a moment and talk about exactly what's going on. And this is where our world begins, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Meathead himself went to the forums 23 hours ago. I was streaming when this came out, and then I was working all day today, and I was working on videos and stuff. Sue me if I didn't get it out sooner, I'm sorry. But there is stuff to talk about here. Today's update was a back-end update for a near-future update. There's a lot of updates going on. That's what, 1 update, 2 update, 3 update, 4 updates in like 12 words. That's like 33% of the words on this page say update. Update. Okay, cool. Now, obviously, we're coming to the end of this era. We've just got the KX security droid. He's around for, another 5 days, and then we've got a week of the off week, and then it is entering May 4th era, which we're all sort of theorizing is going to be related to the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Makes complete sense. It all arrows point towards this. Now, other things that it should be pointing towards is the raid system is supposed to be on a 1-year cycle, right? They said before when raids are released now, they expect them to last sort of 9 to 12 months. We are coming up to that point. This time last year is when we kicked off the anniversary of the Revenge of the Sith, and we got the Dark Side clones, and then it pushed into Depa Billaba and Temple Guard, ending up in the Jedi Master Mace Windu event and the launch of the Order 66 raid. Now, personally, I don't really have a problem with the Order 66 raid. I think it's good. I get max investment out of it. I'm quite happy if we keep that raid for another 6 months, truth be told. Like, let me sit back on all my Relic 9s and earn everything, right? But powers that be, CG, say that it's supposed to be 9 to 12 months, so we're probably going to hear about a new raid in the next era. Probably. I'm thinking it's probably going to be new era, Mandalorian and Grogu. Go ahead, throw ourselves some additional, maybe Galactic Legend. We're about to do a Galactic Legend and a new raid. It all kind of makes sense to me, all falling into place for May 4th, Star Wars Day, big celebration, yay. Right? Cool. Now let's look at what was actually data mined from this update, because CG knows we download all the assets. They know this. We've been doing it for years. They know as soon as they put new assets in the game, we're going to data mine them and we're going to have questions. And questions breeds excitement. I'm excited. Let's go. Okay, we will start right at the start. This is the first thing that we're seeing over here. Omega Battle. Title Update 40, which is the next one. Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3. Now, our existing Omega updates, I believe they give us credits on the Tier 1, Omegas on the Tier 2. No, not Omegas. The purple ability mats on the Tier 2, and then Omegas on Tier 3. They are now changing. The Tier 1 is going to be giving us Mark 3 abilities, the purple materials. The Tier 2 will be rewarding Omegas, and Tier 3 is going to be giving Zeta ability mats. This is a really significant update. This is really significant because one of the big crunches in the early and mid game, and even to a certain degree when you start pushing late game, is that Zetas are such a pain to get hold of. That's been completely exacerbated by the fact that we keep getting the Lightspeed tokens and Lightspeed bundles for loads of characters at an affordable price point, for the most part speaking, right? So people are finding themselves in a position where they've got a load of teams, but absolutely no Zeta mats to put the Zetas on them, and effectively, those teams are not as good as they could be, right? So you have a team, say you've got like CLS, but no Zetas, it's like, the team is a shadow of its actual self, right? So this is a big update to try and lift players up to get more Zetas in the game. Now, personally, my main account, I've got like 770 odd Zeta mats, and I have every important Zeta in the game. I don't need Zetas, but not everything has to be for an endgame player. This is great for the early and the mid game, so big win there. Next up, and this one is actually kind of interesting. This is really hard to sort of imbibe if that's the right word. It really isn't. You're not going to drink this data mine. At least I hope not. It's probably not very healthy for you. But essentially, this is talking about the reward structure that we see in the raid, okay? And you can see over here, Carboplast Cache, then Carboplast Cache 1, and Carboplast Cache 2, and Carboplast Cache 3, right? So what this is showing is raid rewards have got a crate, and those crates have got like little sub-crates, right? This is in-game right now, but in a different form. This is what I'm talking about here. If you go over to any active raid and you check out guild rewards, click on the crates, I don't know why I have a hard time with Carboplast Cache 1, right? Carboplast Cache 2, right? Oh no, Bronzium. There is no Cache 3. And that's true across the board. We've only got 2. Carboplast Cache 1, Carboplast Cache 2, no Carboplast Cache 3. Can't say that word. Interesting. So what is this telling us? This is telling us we are getting an additional raid reward crate. Not just an additional one, several more raid reward crates. We're getting 1, 2, 3, then we're getting 4, 5, 6, then we're getting 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and then the Supreme Raid Cache, which is the same as the last tier, right? Now, I don't know if we're actually getting 4 per tier, or if they've just subsectioned them. Are we getting Erodium Cache, and then Cache 1, 2, and 3? It feels like it should just be 1, 2, 3, not 0, 1, 2, 3, right? But that's actually a lot more than we currently have. Again, if we look at the raid reward structure that we have right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 crates. 11. And you compare it to what we're showing here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and a Supreme Cache, like 19 different rewards within the raid. Why might that be? Why might CG be looking at this structure and think, hey, you know what this really needs? This needs like 8 more tiers of rewards. This can mean a number of things, right? Maybe what they're doing is they're trying to soften this curve to give more levels of rewards across the entire raid experience, right? Maybe they're saying, you know what, we don't want people to be stuck at, 12 million for a raid and not get any better than the first crate. Maybe we'll give them incremental upgrades. We'll just break it down, give them a load more rewards so that it stretches it out, it evens it out, so you're not jumping from 28.5 to 41. Maybe they put something in the middle that's like 34 million and you get an extra reward here. Give you a little bit of something to sweeten the deal, to encourage people to invest just a little bit more. Just go a little bit further. Just get one more team up a level so that you can, get the next set of guild rewards, right? Maybe it's going to do that. Either that, or with the realization that, hang on, we've got Relic 10 in the game now. We have Relic 10. This raid, Order of 66 raid, it's about a year old. It's about time for it to go. It's about time for it to leave. Maybe we introduce a new raid. Maybe the new raid has got a new tier of difficulty. Maybe it's got a tier 7 difficulty and a tier 8 difficulty, which has a requirement of Relic 10. Maybe that Relic 10 gives 4.5 million points instead of 3.6, right? Maybe we need to introduce higher levels of rewards for the raid system because of the new level of relic progression. Could be both. Could be both. I don't know, because I don't have the inside track here. As far as I'm aware, there has been no announcements, no data mines, no anything outside of this one little data mine around raids and the reward structure in particular. I think this is probably the most significant pointer. Now, it's supposedly coming to the game in the next update. I don't think we're seeing a new raid drop on May 4th. I think we might have an announcement for a new raid. I don't think we will have a new raid. Okay? So if this is a back-end update, and supposedly by Meathead's word, it is coming in a very future update, a recent future update, we have to assume that probably they're just going to adjust the reward structure here, which means it's probably not going to have a Relic 10 tier, okay? And it's probably just going to be a readdressing of it. It's just going to spread it out, give more rewards across the middle. So, you know, if you've got 375 million here and 520, maybe they put something at 450 million. There's an extra crate there, so you can get yourself just a little bit more rewards, right? Maybe. Don't know. We're going to find out real soon, but this one to me is really interesting because I can't imagine why they would do this. I haven't heard many people say, I really wish there was a, you know, crate in the middle there. Wish there was one thing there. They have adjusted this once before. But for me, all I keep thinking of, we've got Relic 10. We are probably getting Relic 11 very shortly. In my opinion, I think we're getting Relic 11 shortly. Definitely this year. It's definitely coming this year. Might be in this future update, might be in 3 months' time. I don't know. I think it's coming this year. So they have to try and address that scalability of rewards. You know, there's no reason having Relic 10 unless there's a place for us to use Relic 10 units and get rewards out of it, right? I don't know. That's what I'm thinking here. Okay? There's a little bit more in this data mine. There's some stuff in the territory war here. I don't think we're getting like an overhaul to TW because this is very high level. It's like you've got the attack phase, you've got matchmaking, you've got the review phase, right? And you've got to see who you're facing off against. I imagine they're just potentially moving territory war to look more like Grand Arena Championships. You just got like a front area instead of having to go into guilds and then into events and then into territory war, going down through multiple tabs. And there's evidence of them trying to fix the idea of going through multiple sections of the game in order to reach where you need to go. Looks like they're trying to streamline that process a little bit, right? Territory war set defense complete setup. I don't know why it's got a percentile. Maybe it shows a percentile of how many zones you filled, I guess. Then it shows a preview of the sign-up phase. A pop-up message, apparently, to say, join Territory War, because it's everybody's favorite game mode, right? And then defeat, draw, or victory, right? Next up, we have got a couple of things. This is quite interesting. Cantina Patron Aqualish. Okay, so I believe Aqualish is a race, right? Yeah. This is an Aqualish. These guys are Aqualishes. Aqualish, is that the plural of Aqualishes? Aqualish? Aqualish. I don't know. I think that we're just probably going to get a new patron. And by that, I mean, there's going to be a guy running around the cantina that's an Aqualish, right? And then a Duros, and we all know Duros, right? But then you've got an interesting one over here. And this one kind of sort of tickles my fancy just a little bit. Matte cap, Krayt Dragon body. Now, I had no idea what a matte cap was, but I did Google it. It's kind of interesting. So here we go. A matte cap, material capture in gaming, is a texturing technique that wraps a pre-rendered spherical image around a 3D model to fake complex lighting, reflections, and materials instantly. It bypasses extensive real-time lighting calculations, making it ideal for mobile games, optimizations, and stylized, shiny, or metallic surfaces, such as in VR chat avatars. Okay, so I guess you apply a texture to something that does lighting, right? But the interesting thing about this is it's on a Krayt Dragon. And the only thing that I can think that ties everything together right now, right? The raid, the upcoming presumably Mando content, and this matte cap on the dragon body is, what if CG isn't making a new raid? What if we are cycling back to the Krayt Dragon raid, all right? What if CG looks at this and thinks, you know what, it's really difficult for us to try and build an entire new raid once every 12 months. When we changed the raid reward structure from our dearly beloved Sith Triumvirate raid, we tried something new. We brought out a new way to raid, where you don't just beat one boss as a guild, or a series of complex battles as a guild. We wanted a repeatable structure, where people can send lots of teams in, your points are not dependent on your guild mates necessarily, you've got a personal reward structure, you beat the boss over and over again. And their solution was the Krayt Dragon Hunt, right? At the time, it was an immature system and they hadn't really fleshed it out and people were a little bit burnt out. I remember we used to have to play Krayt Dragon Hunt every 3 days. It was a nightmare. It was too much. Thankfully, CG adapted, learned, lowered the requirements. Once a week, or once every 6 days now, essentially, we have to raid. So the Krayt Dragon Hunt could theoretically be a bit better. Now, the Krayt Dragon Hunt came out initially because of The Mandalorian. It featured in The Mandalorian Season 2, I want to say. Might be Season 3. I think it was Season 2, though. And it used characters from The Mandalorian show. it used Jabba the Hutt. It used Beskar Armor Mando, right? It used Old Republic for some reason. Well, it's because Old Republic fought Krayt Dragon raid in KOTOR, right? And it used Jawas and Mandalorians in general, right? I think I'm missing one. Old Republic, I could probably just click, right? That would probably make it easier, right? Details, summary, unit requirements. There we go. So, Hutt Cartel, Mandalorians, Old Republic, Jawas and Tuskens. That's it, Jawas and Tuskens. Now, don't we think this kind of aligns itself to what we're doing at the moment? Mandalorian and Grogu film is about to be released. We've just had a new leader for the Old Republic. Right? What goes well against Old Republic and features within the new Mandalorian and Grogu film? Well, we've got Jabba the Hutt's son, Rotta the Hutt. I know, right, Jabba? Maybe I've been drinking too much Jawa juice here. Maybe I'm seeing things where it can't be, but it feels like we are now coming full circle. Tie it into, what did we just get in terms of lightspeed tokens? Oh, of course. We just got Mandalorian lightspeed tokens. Mandalorians. A lot of people will be unlocking BAM. BAM. A lot of people will then use that to get Bo-Katan Mandalore. Are we going to see, instead of a new raid, is CG going to cycle back? They're going to touch up the Krayt Dragon hunt. They're going to give us new unit requirements that lets us use Satil Shan, Bo-Katan Mandalore, maybe new Mandalorian units that are going to come in the next era. That might feature things like Hutt Cartel Faction. That might feature things like Maul Shadow Lord, currently out there. Jawas, I doubt, right? Jawas, I got no idea Jawas, but what did constables use? It gets deeper, tribe. What do the constable use? The latest conquest unit that we just got. Cobb Vanth. Who does he have synergy with? Who can he deputize? Jawas and Tuskens. What units? What units can be used in the Krayt Dragon hunt? Unit requirements. Tuskens, Jawas, Old Republic, Mandalorians. It all fits together. Or alternatively, I'm just going nuts. No, I'm not going nuts. The Krayt Dragon hunt is getting revisited. We're not having a new raid. We are having an updated Krayt Dragon hunt. That's the new raid. I've solved it. This gives CG the opportunity to say, hey, we don't actually need to focus on the Krayt Dragon hunt, on the new raid. We're just going to touch up the Krayt Dragon hunt. Boom, new content, new units, new tiers of rewards. We can now focus on a new GL Mando that can be used in the Krayt Dragon hunt. We've got, Rotta the Hutt. He's going to be a Hutt Cartel lifter as part of the new marquee requirements for next. And the truth shall set you free. I found it. I solved it. I nailed it here live today on... We're not live. We're not live. I've fixed it, guys. I fixed it all. Okay? Okay. So, yeah. We've solved that conundrum, guys. Krayt Dragon raid. That's coming. Okay? And then we're getting a bunch of these tags for large character UIs. I think these are usually just for the pop-ups in the game. But let's think a little bit about it. Cara Dune. She is... she's in Mando. Drogon. Don't get it. Chopper. Don't get it. Bam is kind of obvious. Mob Enforcer is a Hutt Cartel unit. Then we've got these guys. These guys tie into ISB a little bit, I suppose. Mon Mothma makes sense. Andor. This over here is there. Do you remember earlier in the video I was talking about tidying up the UI and making it so we don't have to click through things? They're moving fleet battles and mod battles. This is pretty clear to me. Fleet battles and mod battles, these things over here are getting moved into campaigns. So in campaigns, you're going to have like light side, dark side, cantina, mod battles, fleet battles, or something like that, right? They're going to move it all into here with those icons. That's all going to align up. Not a problem at all. So you won't have to dig in here to go into mod battles. You won't have to go into ships and then into fleet battles in order to get here and then come out and then come out. It's just all going to be in there. And I imagine stuff like the events for Fleet Challenges and Fleet Arena, they won't need to exist anymore, right? They'll be over here. So Fleet Arena, it's here, right? Challenges, you'll go to events, and you'll have normal challenges. Ooh, credit heist. Excuse me, sorry about that. It'll all feature under there, right? So they're going to tidy up the cantina so it's a little bit more streamlined, right? And then you can see over here, featured locked raid titles, guild raid locks. That usually comes, I believe, when they introduce a new guild raid. It's like there's a lockout of 1 week where there's no raids available. Title, Arena V2, Arenas. Well, we already theorized that there is a new era-based PvP game mode coming in. Are we just going to get a brand new, like, squad arena PvP for eras? It's the only thing that makes sense. You can't have entire squads. I spoke about this in my last video. We think there's an era-based PvP content coming. CG said they're looking into it. You can't do GAC era-based PvP, so it's going to have to be something like Squad Arena. That makes sense. Territory events. I'm guessing they're going to move TW into there, so that guilds you don't have to go in. So maybe we're going to have a guild raid section, a TW section, that sort of thing. It's all going to get streamlined. And then it looks like we got a bunch of things that are just updating the UI for getting into guilds, the requirements. All this looks like early game stuff. Territory battle stuff, this all ties into it. Guilds V2 pending last active. So there's going to be a bunch more information that everybody can sort of look into it. It's even talking about territory war results, galactic battles, conquest complete. Yeah, tells you if you've got your max rewards, restart available on Galactic War. All of this is just updates to the UI experience, basically. And that is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. For this update, I think it's a lot deeper than some people realized. One thing, massive UI overhauls, things are going to get streamlined all the way down. 2, Omega battles are now going to reward Zeta battles, which is great for the early and mid-game player, but also those reaching late game are now going to have a little bit more Zeta mats in order to buff up their roster overall. Definite new signs for upcoming raid. If we are getting Mando content, it sounds like we are going to cycle back to the Krayt Dragon raid, which means probably in the future we're going to go back to the speeder bike raid and then back to Gungan Naboo raid and then back round again. Maybe we will actually get new raids at some point, but I feel like they are going to cycle raids. I feel like that's going to be a part of our life. Yeah, looks like they're updating rewards for raids as well. There are going to be more boxes, probably, meaning it's going to scale in with Relic 10 and future Relic 11. Lots and lots to talk about, but let me know your thoughts. Am I going absolutely crazy? Or are some of these things quite likely to happen? Let me know in the comments down below. Like the video if you haven't already. Subscribed if you're not. Be a part of the tribe. Be a team player, baby. Let's go! And I will see you all in the very next video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.